Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for EMS Now. I'm here at SMTAI in Texas, and I'm joined by Tom from Kyzen. Tom, thanks for joining me. Good to see you again.
Glad to be here. Great to see you.
So, actually, I have to admit, this is my first SMTAI. I don't normally come out to this event, and I'm trying to figure out where it sits. You know, between a big show in South China and then a huge show in Munich in 4 weeks' time. Seems to be a lot of technical content here.
It's its own animal, because most of the shows are all about vast traffic. Certainly the shows in China. They're about the masses of people wandering through. Productronica is a bit of that, but not quite so much, with a mix of the technology people coming. Here it's more skewed toward the technology people. It's the conference upstairs, I think this year is 90 or 100 papers, mostly by users or joint papers. So these are, you know, the science people that are dreaming up tomorrow, trying to figure out those answers. They're the guys that are here. Now this year is a bit different in that the IPC has traditionally had their fall standards meetings somewhere in the fall, and this year it's co-located here. The idea being, well, gee, some of those people are both standards folks and the core technology people. So it's not a hordes kind of show.
No.
But it's all the people you want to speak to.
Yeah, yeah.
So, some people come and they're disappointed because the crowds are lower. Other people come and they're thrilled because the crowds aren't there, but the right people are.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of how your business runs.
Yeah.
You know, some of the distribution people need, they're driven by hordes rather than the key guy.
Yeah.
And, more the capital people and some of the consumables folks like us are more driven by the right people.
Yeah. So from your point of view, when you approach a show like this, you approach it differently to a Productronica, I guess. It's not about having the sales team here.
Absolutely, yeah, right. In fact, rather than have the whole team here and this and that, we bring a smattering of them because they're the folks manning the booth. But we have almost as many people up in the technology sessions. They're participating in some things. They're just listening and learning in others, and we see them in the morning, and they'll breeze by at lunchtime, and that's about it. But they're busy doing things again, listening, learning, and engaging with the folks in those sessions. So it's its own deal. It's really a bit different. Although it's continued to grow. This, I believe, is the largest show floor that it's had. It's 5 or 6 year independent run.
And with that number of papers, it must be pretty much the largest program they've had as well.
I'm pretty confident it is, and it's all fresh stuff. This is all new papers, new research. Again, very applications oriented. You've got a smattering of the gee whiz stuff.
Yeah.
But mostly it's how.
Yeah.
How's somebody going to make this?
Yeah.
How are we going to build this? Or we're all trying to do this, and we nailed it. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And do SMTA do a good job of making sure they are those kind of papers? Nobody's up there pitching?
Absolutely, that's the deal. They're very very keen on that. The tech committee is an enormous committee that works on this thing, and they're very, very anti that. Things will sneak through, but they're not invited back.
Yeah, well, that's the best way.
Absolutely.
And for you guys, it's really important to have that voice of customer, to find out what the challenges are, what the issues are that are coming next. Is there anything going on up there in terms of technology that's concerning you or exciting you?
Not so much. It's more exciting. In our case, cleaning is a specialty. It's not, while everyone does clean a stencil or under screen, a modest percentage of people clean the majority of their production. But those lines are moving a bit as we're trying to do 2D.5 and 3D, and the implications of that. The cleaning fundamentally opens process windows because it removes that debris. Frequencies are only going up as we try to jam more stuff into our phones, and as that does, that minor residue yesterday on a no clean, which was no problem. Well, now that I've gone up a few gigahertz, well, now it's corrupting the signal.
Yeah.
How do I remove that? Now I've decided that we want our phones to drop into buckets of water, so I really want a conformal coat. Gee, I really want a conformal coat. Well, if I start cleaning that stuff, I have less failures on the conformal coating just because of the ancillary things that wander around in the process, not a process failure sort of thing. So all the leanings are leaning toward cleaning, growing a bit. So it's not so much the concern as those new wrinkles. It's not so much, oh, we've done this for years and now we've decided to clean. That's hardly ever the case. It's we've done this for years and now we're doing this new thing.
Yeah.
and gee, it looks like we may need to clean. You know, so that's more, but we're very engaged. I think we're joint, we either did the papers ourselves or we're co-authors on, I believe it was 4 different papers this year, and that's people doing research on things like QFNs, what's a good design under a QFN to be able to clean under there. Different approaches, different things, really interesting work. Some things on the stencil side, on underscreen and misprint, a lot of different areas where we're just trying to do the research, because that's our ticket. You know, it's not about a good story. It's about the science and delivering value. You know, our industry's gotten much better at keeping the books. The things that add value are the things that get done, and the things that don't get done for long.
Get left. And 03015s, a lot of people talking about those in Germany at the moment, particularly. Will that present new cleaning challenges? As the devices, I can't even see them.
Absolutely,
so
you can't see them.
I would be worried you'd be cleaning them away.
And oddly enough, you know, as the devices get smaller, they get more difficult to clean beneath, because it's that rate. What happens is the flux reflows, which is what it's supposed to do, right? It moves and it wets out, which is what it's supposed to do. And when it fills underneath those devices, now you're not cleaning at the edges. You're literally having to wade your way in. You're mining. So to speak. And so as things get smaller, they do present more challenges. Now, fortunately, the technology's there. The 005s have been around for a while, and so the technology is this has been a problem for a while and a challenge. It's also a challenge on the stencil side, because while you can't see the device, well, you can't see the holes either. And if you can't see the holes, my goodness, how are we going to clean inside those holes, the apertures on a stencil? So it's creating a challenge there, opportunity for new technology to say, hey, gee, how do we do a better job? Cleaning stencils and things have been rather mundane, not a lot of dynamic activity over the years. We think that's starting, things are getting so tiny that they're starting to change that game a little bit, and we've got some new things that are coming along to help with that too.
And what kind of mix do you have of actually cleaning assembled product and cleaning, say, stencils?
Well, from a number of customers, you've generally got more people cleaning stencils, just because there are many people that clean only with water or not at all there. From obviously someone that's just cleaning stencils doesn't have as broad-based a cleaning need as someone that's cleaning all their assemblies. So the people that are only doing that tend to be more modest-sized customers. But then again, as their product mix changes, that could change down the road. So it's good seed corn. And
what about the markets? What's going on at the moment in North America? Obviously, we can't tell because the country is completely shut down.
Well, we have no numbers, of course, and out of respect for the government, I understand every accounting group in America has stopped keeping track of their sales just because it's the right thing to do. But actually, you know, fortunately, we've been shut down for some time. Well, fortunately. But I don't think anyone's noticed, mostly, other than the folks that buy directly from the government, starting to hit some of the military contractors for sure. For those of us that are not directly involved in the government, it's more the problem for those that are. And so we're concerned about that. If we step away from that immediate travesty that's going on, it's frankly the economy's finally coming back. You know, the economies of Western Europe and the U.S. are enormous, and as such, when they lose all their momentum,
it's pretty painful.
It's a big rock to get moving. The rock is moving. It's not rolling
out of control
by any means, but it is moving, and I think it's moving a bit better than it's been.
Some nice steady incremental growth would be just
starting to come along, and so so 5 years later, I'm sure it was due to all the government stuff, but then again, who knows? Who's to know?
Who knows? If there's a choice, I'd always vote for less government. Some of the Brits are talking
Same with me.
Some of the Brits are saying now's the ideal opportunity to come back over here and take over again. Whilst your government's
probably so. You know, while the government's closed, maybe you could sit down at the desk and we wouldn't notice the accent.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be fun. Tom, great to see you. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks in Munich. Some new products there?
We do have some new products there in these areas we've talked about, so I think it's going to be a good show.
Talking about those. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.